All right, I'm in Flint, Michigan. This is Jack's Record Stache. And he just recently moved. So he's going to be painting this and getting it a nice new thing. But great store, a lot of stuff in there. And there's soul and funk, which I just can never find anywhere. So really great. 3 years, right?
3 years. Yep, 3 years in September.
3 years in September. Fantastic. And it's done well down here. That's good, you know, because you just don't see a lot of people coming down. Well,
Never.
It's getting better now.
Yeah.
I mean,
basically people are down here for me.
Yeah.
And that's the reason the store has survived, is because people have gone out of their way to come see me.
That's fantastic.
Absolutely.
Well, now you got another one.
Yeah. All the time when they're young. I feel like that gets harder the older you get.
Yeah.
My body clock does not function the same way. I need sleep more than I used to. But, you know.
Yeah, when you see Ben Harper there, like in 2006,
Yeah.
and the percussionist getting backstage passes, so I wasn't planning on staying. Like, oh, I'll be back. Right? Then, you know, it was like before, like, really cell phone connection and all that.
Sure.
And so I just slept in like a rest area. Like, wake up, my brother called me, my mom called me, like my buddy. Well, everybody's calling me because like I was supposed to go to the Tigers game that night with some friends, and then they won't pay me because I wouldn't go. Well, I told them I wasn't going, and then like I guess they ended up deciding not to go since I wasn't going. It was like the night Verlander pitched his first no-hitter. So everybody's like calling me to let me know, and like, yeah, and all that. And I was like, dude, I'm going to the show, and then my brother was supposed to meet me.
Right, arrivals.
So I just went by myself, and then I was like, wake up, and there's like,
These are bootlegs. Beatles. Simple Minds bootleg. John Mayhem. That's Gary Puckett bootleg.
Yeah.
Four Seasons. There are Four Seasons. ABC bootleg. Wimmer Twins on ABC. Rolling Stones. Beatles. Pop the Hoople. Big Dale. Cool. That's nice. Funk here. You know, too many places I go to, it is really hard to find a lot of funk and soul anymore. I guess you gotta know where to go, the right places. I struggle in my travels to find much, except the Impressions. There you go. You can find the Impressions. Cornelius Brothers, tops. Maynard. Satins. There's the new one. I think it's the new one. Okay. Variety. Oh, look at that. Ronnie Hawkins. That's pretty cool. I don't want to break anything. Kind of dancer. Silver tones. Oh, look at this one. What's this one? San Francisco International Pop Festival. Oh, wait. I've seen better days. Number one. I do not know them. Looks kind of, though doesn't it? Wrestling. Gotta have wrestling figures. Or new. This is their used rock section. I won't go through all that. New arrivals. Or their new music. Country bluegrass.
Yeah.
This video's like different clothes the whole time. You know, I think it's my third change. Quick update. First, Jack's Records. That's where I visited in Flint, Michigan. And you can see their information there. If it picks that up, maybe it's too blurry. Nice little store. Interesting selection. You know, was a variety of different things, which was good to see. It's right downtown Flint, Michigan. For those of you familiar with Flint, you know it's not the most beautiful city in the world. There's a lot of issues and problems there, but you know, they're trying to they're trying to bring back their downtown. There's actually a lot of great little eating places and bars to go to downtown now. Getting there looks apocalyptic, but I always enjoy Flint. So fun record store to see. Jeff's the owner of Jack's Record Stache. So the other thing, that's my work emails going here. Bill Young, yesterday, that would be, what's today? Today is Tuesday. His wife Bridget was playing music for him. And he spoke for the first time. And it's been a number of days since he said anything. Just been laying there in the ICU. And by the end of the day, I guess he was singing and a little bit and talking. So just a nice turnaround. And so I thank everyone for what you're doing, your thoughts, your prayers, and all that. It truly does make a difference. It really does. And the videos, Chris Blue Sky Vinyl, thank you for starting this thread on these videos, and it's been just fun to see that, and no doubt when Bill has this energy that he can watch these, he's really going to enjoy it. So keep that going. You've made a positive difference, and I really appreciate that. And obviously Bill and his family does too. There's been a lot of love going out his way, so thank you for what you're doing. So let's get on with the show. I got to get to work anyway. Bye. And welcome to the midweek. Back to show some outstanding albums that I brought back into my collection. You know, the Sunday I tried to show just the new stuff I've never had before. This different because I had these, or a version of them, and now I got them back. And you know, so they got to be special for me to bring them back. Otherwise, I'm not doing it. Speaking of Chris Blue Sky, you're going to like this first one. This was pretty exciting to find. This, the complete recordings of Robert Johnson. I had this in CD when it came out in 1990, but I never had the vinyl. And, you know, I probably at that time would go, you know what? Vinyl wasn't in. By 1990, I'd finally bought a CD player. So it was just like, this is it. And where I lived, you couldn't find vinyl if you'd wanted to. So this was very exciting to find. You have the book. This is the exact same book you got in the CD box set. I really want to sneeze right now, by the way. There we go. Told you I wanted to do it. Much better now. So, this book going through Robert Johnson, his life, the music that's inside, a little bit of a flyer that came in, some of the different albums that are offered. There's one here on Cajun music that really would be cool. Willie Dixon's on here. This is a 2-album set, and it is just in extremely clean and beautiful condition. Roots and Blues. Robert Johnson, anybody a music fan, you understand Robert Johnson, his importance with the blues. It seems like 1 billion people somehow hooked up with Robert Johnson. I knew him. I learned from guitar from him. There's so much mystery. There's so many stories. Are they true? Are they not? Myth versus reality? Who knows? But this we do know. He created incredibly good music, important music, and the music that lives on today and still recorded today. So excited to have this 3-album set of Robert Johnson. The next one, too, I had in CD. I never had it in vinyl. And I really thought I had it in vinyl, but I guess I didn't. And it is Dusty Springfield, Dusty in Memphis. This came out in 1969. This is from a 1969, this particular album here. Dusty was struggling, and that's kind of stuck. There's a little sticky on here. She was struggling and trying to find herself, trying to find her voice, so she joined Atlantic Records because Aretha Franklin was part of Atlantic Records. So Jerry Wexler was sending her songs. She was kind of rejecting everything, but there was a few, okay, let's try. And they decided they'll go down to Memphis, to the American recording studios down there to record. And let me tell you, as she's trying to find what she wants, the musicians, they're kind of crass and everything, and she's having a hard time. She's not even understanding what is with these guys. Why are they acting like this? But they began to find this groove, and they produced a couple really good songs. A lot of it was done back in New York at Atlantic Studios because she wound up leaving. She just was having a hard time with this. But it created this vibe that took over this album. And when this album came out, it tanked. Didn't do well in the U.S., didn't do well in Britain, but it had Son of a Preacher Man. And that's just one of the most wonderful singles. This has taken on legendary status, like so many of the greatest records ever. When they first came out, people didn't get it. But then later on they did. And an absolutely gorgeous, beautiful album. Her voice is never better. If you need one Dusty Springfield, this is the Dusty Springfield. And I was really excited. I was in a record store down in Detroit, and here was this beautiful original. I was able to get that. So something I've always wanted on vinyl, but had never been able to see or find an original. So very excited. Dusty Springfield, Memphis. The next one, 2 from Miles Davis, In a Silent Wave, which is one of my all-time favorite Miles Davis albums. Came out in 1969. And Miles, 7 Steps to Heaven. And this here is the Analog Productions version. Let's just begin with this one. This came out in 63. Miles, this was the start of a new group. His old group quit. Sometimes that's not said, but sales were lagging. It wasn't doing well. And so his group, we quit and they left. And actually they went and they formed their own band. So he's looking for some musicians. And he starts with some session musicians and getting them. But some didn't want to be part of a band. They weren't interested. And they recorded, some of the music. So he has to go and he finds another group of young people, young kids. And that began the second great Miles quintet. You know, suddenly he had Herbie Hancock and Tony Williams and Ron Carter came in. Now see, George Coleman played on his, Frank Butler, Victor Freeman. They were the ones, they were out in California. But it didn't go well. Came back to New York, and those were the takes that really they took. And this became the first thing they put out. Analog Production does a great thing. I'd love the MoFi of it. But who knows when that's coming out. And, you know, it's just going to sound great. So, you know, a great Miles album. A favorite? It's not. But there's some nice up-tempo, some quieter stuff. Now, this one, though. And this is one from '69 when this came out, In a Silent Way. And really, you know, his electric period was now underway. And this really ushered it in. And people had, again, a hard time with it. What is he doing? What is going on? By this time, Herbie Hancock and Tony Williams were not in the group anymore. But they told him they didn't want to tour. They said, when you go to the studio, we will come in. And Miles called them, and they came into the studio to be part of this. And, you know, because you had electric piano of Herbie Hancock, Chick Corea, and Joe Zinol were all on electric piano or organ. You know, Wayne Shorter's on on tenor sax, Dave Holland, Tony Williams is on drums again. This is a beautiful, peaceful album. This is something you put on to relax. You've had a tough day, stressful day. This is absolutely gorgeous. It is the most beautiful way to relax. It, you know, it's right up there, one of my probably top 3 or 4 Miles Davis albums. You know, during this period, you know, I love, you know, Kind of Blue, but man, Bitches Blue, In a Silent Way, and a Miles Head. God bless it. Those are incredible. I brought back my first Prince album. I used to have a lot of the Prince. In fact, there's from my original back in the day when this came out. But they re-released this. Nah, I take it back. That's actually from this. I didn't save my original. Well, damn, how about that? You can only save so much, right? And I remember when this thing came out, it was so freaking, it was kind of exciting, you know. Red Corvette was the big thing. Gosh darn, that was a cool song. Me and my Red Corvette. Ah, lordy. 1999, of course, there's the inner sleeves that were with that. I mean, everyone knows this album. You either like it or you don't like Prince. But it's funky. It's really funky. Fun stuff. You know, do I need everything from Prince? No, but his early stuff I like the best. When he was really so much creativity was going on, but it was funky, real funky. Got a 3 from this group. The Cramps had everything, but there's my original that I bought. It's not original, but it was from the first reissue. It was in that orange colored vinyl. And quite honestly, I haven't even opened this one up because I have that one to play. It's just black vinyl. But this came out in, what was it, the mid-90s on this, I believe, in 1994, yeah. So Cramps had changed. You know, it was no longer psychobilly. It was more sexobilly. You know, we got Ultratris, Let's Get Fucked Up, Nest of the Cuckoo, Naked Girl Falling Down the Stairs. You know, How Come You Do Me, Inside Out, Upside Down, Trap Love. Route 66, Get Your Kicks, which is a lot of fun. Their version of it. Just a fun album. You know, it's just... This is not essential Cramps. Not essential whatsoever. But if you're a fan of the group, you want to have it. You know, it's not the one, generally their early stuff I will play constantly. I really, really love. But it was more of a, you know, their love of the horror music. But still great rockabilly. And the other one, this was just reissued along with flame job was Cramps. And this is live at the Keystone Club 1979 radio broadcast. You know how blues repackages things? Cramps live shows are like that too. This is in a number of different packaging. I got it already in a different package. Totally looks different. Cramps are really famous for doing that with all these well, there are a lot of bootlegs now. They're more official. But from radio, broadcasts, live shows, you will find that. But just, there you can see kind of the label, which is upside down. I mean, whatever. But fun stuff to have. Well, that's some. I have more we'll do at a later date. Obviously, the collection that I bought that I showed last week has a lot of stuff I used to have that will be part of these midweeks that I do. Next week, maybe 1977. We'll see. My favorites. So thank you all for taking the time for a short video. Oh, my God. From my channel. It's a short video. You're welcome. Have a good one. Bye.